Okay, let's finish up here with task number 3, which is the synthesis task, which requires you to find information from both of the texts. And as I've mentioned before, a good way of approaching this task is to take a look through it before you start tasks 1 and 2, and try and work out which text the specific information is coming from. So when you're reading carefully to try and find the answers to tasks 1 and 2, always try and have this synthesis task in mind as well. Because if you leave it to the end and you only give yourself 5 minutes, it's going to be really, really difficult to find all these answers because they're all over the place in the texts. Of course, there are clues, there are certain words that are going to help you. Transportation systems, for example, might help you to find question 1, but it's going to be really tough if you haven't looked at this task before you start and you only give yourself a short amount of time to do it. It's not like a vocabulary gap fill exercise. It requires you to know the texts to a reasonable degree and be able to pick out one small detail from the wider picture. Okay, so let's take a look. Alright, so we've got 2 texts. One's about forced labour policies, the other's about land legislation. Okay, so let's start here. In addition to forced labour. Okay, so what could this be? This is probably related to forced labour because this bit here shows that you're moving on from first one. So you're going to find this in the text about the forced labour policies. The black African majority lost, okay, and had to live on reserves. So this one's probably in the text about land legislation. Okay, these labour policies were forcibly put into effect. Okay, labour policies. Okay, so this is from the text. Okay, the first text. A similar example can be seen in. All right, so one example, a similar example, means it's also probably from the first text on forced labour. Okay, in terms of land rights, okay, so this suggests that we're going back to text 2 and about land legislation. Okay, and let's look at this one. Certain areas of land. Alright, so this one might be from the second text as well. Alright, so you can sort of have a guess before you even start which text you're going to have to be looking through. Okay, so let's go on to question 1. Okay, task 3, question 1. Right. Here we had transportation systems, which is a bit of a clue for us. Where are we here? Roads, railways, and other public projects. So that's the answer you want. Transportation systems was a clue as to roads and railways, which, as you know, are types of transport. Alright. Where are we next? Okay, so question 2. Okay. We thought this was probably in text 2, so I'm going to have to skip down here very quickly. There we go. Alright, task 3, number 2. Most Africans lost substantial amounts of land. Okay, if you just write land here, we'd accept that. Okay, the amount is not so important. Most Africans lived on reserves. I think we saw that in the question. And had to live on reserves. Okay, so the black African majority lost land. Question 3. Alright, what can we see here? Child mutilation and Congo. Alright, there are some pretty specific words here. So let's go down the text, see if we can find that. Okay, here we go. Congo. Okay, mutilated their children. Alright, that's a bit there. So terror tactics is the answer we're looking for. Indicates the use of terror tactics in ensuring quotas were met. A similar example can be seen in Mozambique. Okay, so similar is probably from the same text, and we've got this name of this country here, Mozambique. That's going to help us find the information. We've also got a date here, the 1940s, and cotton production. Okay, so let's go down. Okay, so that was here, Congo. Further down the text we've got Mozambique. Alright, cotton production. Okay, so the answer we're looking for here is violence. So we've got terror, and the similar example is violence. Okay, so questions 5 and 6 we thought were from the second text, because we've got the idea of the Land Act here, and we already know from looking at task 2 that this was related, this was an important part of the whole text. Okay, so questions 5 and 6, it works on a principle of something and aimed to prevent them from buying land. Okay, so let's take a look down here. Okay, territorial segregation. Okay, and there, stop Africans from buying more land. We saw that in the paragraph, so that'll help us to find this. And the final question is right near the end. Okay, unused or empty. Either of these words, you don't need to write both of them. If you just write one of these, that would be an acceptable answer. Okay.